great happy Easter to all of you, and welcome to this very special episode of the Producer's Perspective Live. How is everybody out there? Give me a big prepare ye. Give me a big prepare ye. Let me hear it. Come on. Give it to me in those comments. Hope everyone's doing well. I am so happy you are here with me tonight. I'm so happy all of our guests are here tonight. In case you didn't quite nail that video, that was our Tony Awards performance, and we would have showed you the whole thing, but this platform doesn't allow more than 30 seconds worth of video. So, but it's actually on YouTube. We've got lots of other special surprises in store for you tonight. We've got all sorts of fun stuff, and of course, some amazing, amazing guests, and they're going to share their favorite Godspell memories, all sorts of fun stuff, maybe some blooper stuff, what went wrong, all the secrets of the show. Before we begin and before I start bringing on some folks, just a reminder that we've started live streaming about 3 weeks ago. We do this every single night, and the reason we do it is to raise money for the Actors Fund. So I'm here every single night with a new guest. We've had Alan Cumming on, we have had Stephen Schwartz on, we have had Sierra Bogus on, we've had all these people on, and a whole bunch of people coming up. We're here every night, and the reason we're here is to raise money for the Actors Fund during this very, very difficult time for all sorts of people in our business, and that's what the Actors Fund does, helps out everyone in our business, not just actors. We're also here to remind all of you to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. I know it's tricky, but we want to keep this curve flattening and then get to the other side, so don't forget to do that. But again, the Actors Fund. So listen, here's what raising money for anything is all about. It's all about numbers. So I want you all to do me a favor. The more people we have tuning in tonight, the more people we have, the more money we'll raise for the Actors Fund, the more good they will do. I just got a note from the head of the Actors Fund that tells me they have 10,000 requests from folks looking for assistance, and they'll need like $20 million in about a month. So let's share, share, share. You see that button? Before I'm bringing anyone on, I want to see some shares. Share, 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 share with all your friends. Let's get a whole bunch of people on, see what we can do. That tip jar is right on the Facebook page. Let's raise some good money for this incredible organization. Now we're getting closer to the fun stuff. Questions. I'm counting on you for questions. So throw some questions in the live comments. It helps actually if you write question in capitals. I think that's Drew's trick if he's out there. Question in capitals, and just ask your question. If you have it for someone, put their first name. I'll try to get as many in as possible, but we have a lot of folks to get through. So go ahead. Throw in your questions, comments, anything you want. Maybe you'll see your name and your mug on the screen with someone, okay? I want to start out with a couple polls. Favorite Godspell moment from this show? Favorite moment? Throw something in there. Let's see what we got. Favorite moment from the show? Favorite song? Throw that. And then how many of my people of Godspell do we have out there? How many of my people of Godspell? We got you folks out there. Hello, John from Delaware. Drew is here, thank goodness. Andy, we did a little tour. Carolyn Jacobson, we're happening now, so I hope you're with us. That's still on standby. We are here just moments away from bringing on our first guest. Let me know your favorite moment. Beautiful city, killer. Let's make sure we throw in that link, Mary, of Hunter, that video. It just breaks my heart every time. Good questions. Telly playing an intermission. Elliot Basie. Hello, Elliot. That was killer, that bit. Killer. Telly's going to be with us in just a few moments. All good gifts. I love it. How many of you performed in Godspell? How many of you performed? Throw that up in there. Okay. Yes, we will put a URL for the Godspell for the Actors Fund, but there should be a tip jar. So I'm looking at these questions really quickly. They're coming in fast and furious. We got a lot of people on, so let's get to it. I want to bring on my very first guest. We're going to do this one all by himself because he's really the reason that this production happened. He is the genius behind this production of the show, the first ever Broadway revival of the show, and also in the round. Please welcome the director of this production of Godspell and my very good friend, Danny Goldstein. Danny!
Am I on? I'm on.
You're on.
And I'm on. Hi, Ken.
Hi. Say hi to everybody out there.
Hi, everybody out there.
Danny, where are you?
I'm in Western Massachusetts. I am in the basement because otherwise there would be children running around and causing a giant ruckus. So there's some tools. There are tools. Yeah, there are some tools. There are some tools. So that's where I am.
You should have said like, "Oh, I'm like in a production studio right now. I'm building this next set for my show."
I'm building a set for a show. That's what I'm doing. Just a show that I'm performing by myself for an audience of my kids and my wife. That's it, because those are the only people I see.
It's worse than Ben Brantley. Your kids.
Yeah, exactly. Coming to review it. He's going to love it. It's going to go very well.
Tell me a little bit, just before we bring some of the folks on, about why you wanted to do this show back in 2011. Well, I know it started at Paper Mill and then it came to Broadway. What was your passion for it, and why this way?
Godspell is a show that I've known for a very long time, having performed in it as Jesus when I was getting ready for my bar mitzvah, with Zach Braff as my Judas at Stage Door Manor. What's up, Stage Door people? I bet there are a lot of them watching, because they shouted it out on all their social. To me, there is something that, especially now, and especially, I actually, it's funny that, I thought things were in a place where we needed this message, but actually now more than ever that we need to treat others as we would have them treat us, and we don't do that very much. So to me, that story of people coming together and celebrating what we do, celebrating theater and celebrating games and celebrating these amazing songs and the stupid pet tricks that all of these incredible cast members could do was really important to me. So that's why I did that.
So tell me a little bit about the stupid pet trick phenomenon, which of course all Godspell comes from, the production really comes from the cast, but this group was incredibly talented. One of the things that I remember most was something wasn't working. Prodigal Son wasn't working, right? And
we threw it away. We had this, we did this. This was based on a production that we did at the Paper Mill, and Prodigal Son was sort of like a very elaborately done. It was sort of made like a movie, so there was all this stuff, and it's told like a Western. And it was very successful at Paper Mill, and we wanted to redo it here, and we kept trying to redo it, but slowly we sort of realized that it just wasn't working, because that's what we had done for that other cast at Paper Mill. And there were some, Telly and Uzo were in it again, but otherwise it was new people, and it wasn't working. And Telly actually came up to me and said, I'd love to do some impressions. And so we found a spot to do these impressions where he just made up a bunch of stuff. And we just sort of allowed it to be made up for this cast and these people. And all of a sudden it worked a lot better with George and Telly trading off narrative, and Wallace.
And tell me a little bit about because I believe the success of this production, why we have so many people watching and why everyone loved it so much, was because of this company of people, which really was you picking the folks. And I remember you talking to me, we have to have this person. We have to, you don't understand. And obviously you were so right about every single one. What were you looking for in a cast for this show?
I was looking for individuals. I was looking for people who were unique and unlike anyone else. And if you look at the 10 people plus the 4 standbys or 5 once we added Hannah, the standbys who came into the show, every single one of them is unlike anyone you've ever met. That's what I was looking for. So people came in to audition, and we auditioned 700 people for the 10 slots plus the standbys. And we spent a lot of time doing it. But because of that, we had people who were willing to throw their whole self into it and make their own character who they actually were. And that was, that's all you need for Godspell. People don't quite realize that, if you do it at your high school or you do it in your church, you'll get a script that has lines in it. But the idea, if you really want to go for it the way that they did and the way that we did, is that you throw away the script. We didn't use the script. Hunter had the script because he had to memorize Jesus's line. It sucked for him. But otherwise, we just made it up. We had the parables from the Bible, and they made up stuff, and our stage managers made a script for us as we created it. So it's ours, and no one can ever replicate what we made. And if standbys were on, and if other people were on, everything was always a little different. There was something always a little ripe for a change in the air.
Yeah. One of those 700 people, if I remember correctly, was Ben Platt.
Oh yeah.
He didn't.
Did not get it.
Did not get it. Sorry.
I don't know what his parable was, but maybe it wasn't so good, but I'm sure he sang very well. I don't know.
Well, you found an extraordinary group of unique individuals. I love that phrase. So let's bring on some of them right now, shall we? I really don't know who's coming in next. Mary's like doing this as like the puppet master back there. So who? Morgan!
It's me!
Hello!
I got chosen from the infamous Godspell audition.
It's like
Wallace!
Wallace!
What's up?
Morgan!
Who else we
This
got
is so
coming in?
awesome. This is so great.
Hi, everybody.
Morgan!
Hi, Wallace. Oh, it's Hunter. I think you're I'm screaming. I'm screaming.
Hey! Amazing.
I love seeing your faces.
This is great.
amazing.
Is that your wedding picture behind you, Anna Maria?
Oh my, is it a painting? Is it a painting? Is it a puzzle?
No, it's an actual photo. So
I wouldn't put it past.
Yeah, right.
Beautiful.
So how's everybody doing?
Congratulations, you got married.
Everybody good and healthy and all those things right now?
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
yes.
Thank goodness.
Good,
I'm not in
good.
a basement like Danny, but I
Yeah.
sort of wish I
Well-
was. That sort of looks like what our rehearsal space looks like.
Yeah.
With a bunch of random props and
Random
With the
props.
hammer.
toys. And
Let's make him do a parable. Should we make him do a parable?
I have
We
a
should.
leaf blower if you'd like.
Hey!
Oh my
We
God.
could make really good use of that.
We could. Yeah.
There we go.
This is for the sower. The sower likes to sow some seed. No, it's not battery. All right. I was gonna turn it off.
It's like already a rehearsal. This is what the rehearsals were like. You're just pulling out random props and just
Well,
making
kind of.
hits to
Yeah.
go on.
We had how was that thing in the corner and like there was like a whole prop thing.
Well, tell us about that actually. That's
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Well,
The
someone
torture
else,
chamber.
Hunter, you do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I remember we had just like trunks of random, like a boa. There was like a boa and some random pirate, like daggers and swords, and that was the idea. I don't know what we did for the first week and a half, but play with those toys. And the idea was to structure it around storytelling and the stories that we obviously ended, the parables that we obviously ended up saying in the show. But the idea was we needed like 3 days of that to get out of the typical mindset of trying to build this structured theater piece. And that's not what Godspell is. And you need to break that down in order to be able to build something fresh. And I think that's what Danny led us in that play to do, to break away from the structure and to, let yourself have fun and be free. And I mean, we did.
And be terrible, like
oh right, yeah, strong and wrong.
Strong and wrong.
Very wrong was our thing.
Worst possible jokes.
Yes.
Is there anything that anyone have a favorite thing that got cut? Like any bit that they really liked that didn't make it in the show that made all of you laugh but just died, or any bits like that? Anyone remember?
Oh man.
Oh my God.
I can't.
Remember Salisa's first crack at what was that song we were doing? And we, remember it was like
a bum bum?
We got so many
A
versions.
bum bum. Oh, a bum
Bum
bum.
bum.
Bum bum,
Remember
right?
a bum bum?
The thing.
Humbug was a Stephen
Well-
Schwartz one.
But none of us liked that. We
No.
kept going along with it, and then it just became more and more epic.
It became a joke.
It became an absolute, and still to this day, we'll just address each other by saying a bum bum.
So a bum bum was actually I said to Stephen, like the thing at the beginning of Light of the World was like a little like, if there's a man among you who would offer his son a like,
Right.
Stephen, come on, you could do better. So he wrote a thing and it was literally titled on the top of it, a
A
bum
bum
bum.
bum.
Oh, bum, bum.
Bum bum, a bum bum.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like
A rap?
beatboxing, like beatboxing. Yeah.
And we
Remember
tried
the
it,
was
and
long.
then it got cut. It got cut so fast. It just got cut.
I heard that Lin-Manuel Miranda was inspired to write
Backstage of we had like poster board, and every time that someone tried something that just got cut, we put it
The
in
graveyard.
Right.
The graveyard.
Graveyard.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yes.
So what was anybody a favorite moment from the show that you were not in, that was not you, like someone else's moment?
Oh man.
Oh, so many.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I love Beautiful City. Every night I was just a bawling mess every night.
Yeah.
And The Last Supper and Beautiful City was,
The last
Mm.
couple of decades.
yeah, every night was different. Every night was special.
Mm.
Every night I was just in a puddle, and because of
Mm.
Hunter and because of all of us being together, you know?
Together, yeah. Wow.
I think my favorite memory doing the show, and this is just because we were all on stage at the same time, is when, again, the last supper, we were all sitting around the water pit right before Judas betrays Jesus. And I think it's one of the moments where I really was emotional, like genuine emotion, and I was crying. I don't know if it's because I am religious and I know the story very well, but the moments that we had with Jesus and hugging him and those like moments we had to say goodbye to him was probably one of the strongest moments in the show, and I think the audience felt that as well, and that was my favorite moment.
Mm.
Hmm.
I was jealous that I didn't get to blast off one of the confetti guns.
Cannon.
at
It was
the,
stressful.
the
It was
confetti
stressful.
cannon.
I always got it wrong. Always.
Dude, that was like lighting a bomb every night. It was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I got it wrong when we did David Letterman.
Oh, that was
Oh, that was you, Anna Maria.
That was my, yes.
Anna Maria.
Oh, yours was it puttered out.
you know what mine was?
No,
was
it went late. It was like on the offbeat. You were syncopated.
Syncopated.
Oh my gosh.
Syncopated.
There is a question in here or a comment. I love the tweet and where to go here.
Oh,
Someone's
yes, Uzo, right?
Oh yeah, I love the tweet and God dang it, now I've lost it. The comments are coming in so fast. What does that mean? I forget myself. If someone explain the tweet.
There was a slow-mo moment that Uzo and I
Oh
had,
yeah, the slow-mo.
and she had to tackle me down in slow motion. And I think she was saying tweet.
It was a bird eating you. You were
Oh,
the
yeah.
victim, right? And she was a bird eating you to see. It kind of became a thing, Anna Maria, where like the funniest thing that you like would be like when you would get lifted or like you would get like tackled by Uzo. Like
Yes.
that physical comedy between the two of you was
Yes.
Yeah. We had
Also,
man.
what was that scene where you guys were speaking to each other?
Lion King.
Oh yeah, and she
Yeah.
put me on one shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had a moment of talking in our dialects of Tagalog and
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
What about Anna Maria rapping though? Remember when she had that rap and everybody was like, "Oh snap!" She just came out of left field in that one song. I don't think anybody was expecting Anna to like
Yeah.
break into a rap.
Oh yeah.
It though, like her.
was it your voice?
It was, I forget which one. It was like at the beginning of the show when me and Uzo had to play.
Oh.
Yes.
It all comes back.
It all comes back.
It's right, like riding a bike.
Saying that they still find Godspell confetti. Like literally a couple people
Yeah.
still finding it from now.
Wow.
My favorite moment, Anne Maria, was your mustache you created with your hair, actually.
Right. With
Oh,
my
nice.
with my long extensions that I had, which I have a funny moment about with Morgan.
With about what?
The extensions I had.
Oh my. I forgot that.
So there was a moment where in the beginning when we're on the ladder, we had these like reaching moments, and I had long extensions, clip-ins, and one time Morgan reached for me, and the button on her jacket hooked onto my clip, and slowly took out my track out of my hair.
I had blocked that out. So many things. So many things.
And
Live theater. Nothing
she
like
threw
it.
it with Charlie, and yeah, so it happened twice. I still remember.
Any other good bloopers like that? Things that should not have happened that you remember?
Too
Yeah.
many to even list. Too many.
Listen, one of the most classic, and I never thought this would happen. We never even prepared for it. Was Hunter? Remember the time you got ready to walk on water and you just went into the water?
Oh yeah.
I don't
I
remember
missed
that.
it. I missed the plank.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Jesus was not doing any miracles that day. That was
The show was over at that point. It was like their money back.
that's right. That's right. When you lose that, it's sort of all goes out the window. God,
That was
that's right.
Oh.
And I think also when the crane didn't come down,
Ooh.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was our
Yeah.
Wicked moment where we all got really low. Like, oh
Right,
God, he's dying.
Yeah,
Like when Alphabet doesn't fly.
That's right.
that was classic.
Tons of mishaps, though.
I love it. Well, it's time for our next guest. And Danny, I think we're going to say so long for you.
Bye,
Everybody.
Hi, Danny.
Danny!
Opening night, the director leaves.
Yeah, exactly.
The director leads. So thank you so much, Danny, for being with us tonight.
Of course, everybody. I love you guys. See you soon. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
And let's see who else is coming on right now. I believe I was told it's a surprise guest that I did not know who it was going to be.
Oh.
Let's see who we have. It's like Godspell roulette.
Right.
It is.
It is.
We don't even know.
You don't.
I did.
Come on.
Mary?
Nick!
Hey guys,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys?
What's up, man?
What up, man?
It's good to see
Like
you.
that hat.
Oh, thanks, man. New York is,
That's right. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's a cool hat. I got a lot of hair. My hair is kind of like a hat.
Oh, man, you look good.
Ken, people probably don't realize that we haven't gotten to see each other in a while either. So this
No,
is
we
a
have
nice
not.
Little,
Yeah.
No, this is
Little
great.
joy for
You
us.
guys are great.
When was the last time? Has there been anything? Have there been other benefits or any gatherings of any?
That we've all been to? No.
I don't think that we've all
All
been.
of us, no.
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 Maybe a couple times in New York, but not all of us.
Yeah, I mean, I think a few years ago I saw Nick and Wallace when I saw George and Be More Chill, and then
Yeah.
I've seen Uzo. She was my maid of honor at my wedding, and Eric.
Oh.
Yeah, Eric Krop sang my wedding song with me.
Oh, gosh.
That's
So
incredible. Nick, we were just sharing favorite Godspell blooper moments. You have anything that you remember, something that went wrong?
Oh God.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Just like I mean, I heard a little bit of the bit graveyard conversation, which I thought was truly magical. The amount of bravery that was undertaken. With funny things. I'm trying to think. Oh my god. I mean, this is only funny now, Morgan, because you're.
Yes.
Which
But,
one?
Was there a trampoline mishap?
Oh God. Was there
is.
ever? Oh, by the way, may we not forget the fact that Uzo carried me up 3 flights of stairs. Remember that? I don't want anyone to forget that on that night, everyone stared at what are we gonna do? It was during tech. There was a bit with, if you haven't seen Godspell, or if you saw it, there was a trampoline bit that used to be a lot more elaborate than it ended up being.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And got a little ambitious, and I cracked my ankle, and we all kind of were in shock. I was in shock for sure. And Uzo came over. Everyone was kind of like, what do we do? And Uzo threw me over her shoulder and carried me up 3 flights of stairs to a cab or to an ambulance or a cab to get to the hospital.
And then
in costume.
Took you outside. Took you outside in costume.
Took me outside in costume, and then all the women, my girls, all came to the hospital and waited for me until we were safely at a diner after the hospital.
And none of the guys.
No, I'm sure you offered, but we were like, "Yo, this is my girl." Anyway, Uzo carried me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really
cracked
good.
my ankle open on the trampoline.
Julia Mattison just texted me and reminded me of when George Salazar forgot his lines and saved the heart.
Wait, when? In what?
That George forgot his lines. He was being big, and he got to the part, and to say it, and he forgot it, and he was like, "Oh God, my heart!"
He was like, "What's next?"
Was that the moment with you, Wallace?
It was me and George. I was narrating or something, and it was his turn though for him to take it. And I think something different happened physically, his physicality, and it threw the whole.
Oh,
that was it.
George is FaceTiming me because he says he wants to tell that story.
Oh, you're in trouble. You're in
I know.
trouble.
One of us needs to duck out and let George in.
Is that George? Oh my
We've taken over, Ken. This is what
Ken,
happens.
it's over. I'm sorry. This is a reunion now.
Wait your turn, okay? Wait your turn.
Wait your turn, George.
Sorry.
Wait till you're let in.
Well, I have to now actually say goodbye to one other person so we can keep this going, and so it's not until 2 a.m. I feel like it's only fitting we bring on Julia Mattison to replace Morgan James.
It's totally natural, right? And for longer, actually. I think that's the best. I love you all.
Bye, Morgan. Wow.
Bring on Julia.
Hey, I'm ready.
Julia, what's up?
How did you feel
Hey,
that night?
friends.
How did you feel that night when she broke her ankle and you knew you had to go on in like a moment's notice?
Oh my God, I still feel the feeling in my stomach. It's still, for all of these years, permeates throughout me. It's actually like the one moment that has energized me to this day. It was terrifying. Remember, I was sitting with Corey, I think, and we were just watching, and everyone was having so much fun bouncing on the trampolines. And it was this blissful moment. It was like, oh, everyone's just loving it, having a great time. And then just in a moment, like Morgan was down, and it was just like the air was sucked out of the room. And I remember at first I was going to be, because like Morgan and I had become good buddies at this point, and it was like I was going to go and stay with her at the hospital. And I think Danny was like, no, you're her for like,
You need to come to work.
oh, right, that's the job. That's what I have to do now. And what continued from that was like the craziest whirlwind I experienced, because it came like through previews, through opening night, building this whole thing. And yeah. I think it was 5 weeks, but I've been thinking about it a lot because I realized, and I think I've told Morgan this, but it actually informed a lot of like my future beyond that, because that track is one where like you got to make up 6 jokes a night, improvise and stuff. And then to do that was so exciting for my writer brain. And then when Morgan came back in, I would sometimes be like staff writer and like go up with her and be like, okay, that guy, he's bald, we can do that, we can make this joke. And you know, so it gave me like writer actor kind of vibes in a way. And it was like, oh, these pictures. Yeah. It was that was a real ride. The crazy
too.
There's another.
There's so many good looks.
So many.
So if you were the staff writer, any jokes that you wrote for those moments that bombed? Anything that you remember like, this is gonna kill?
I mean, you'd have that casual matinee where it'd be like, you're a woman. We don't have anything today. She's empty. And then there were sometimes though that like I will always remember that like tapped into just like the right joke in the right moment. Like, do you guys remember there was someone who wore sunglasses inside in the front row?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember that?
You put them over yours or something?
Yeah, because the opening, it's like a double sunglasses bit. And then,
right, you had
to go up to this one woman who had like sunglasses on the entire time. And I could be like, right, it's so bright in here. Like, this is great. And just like hang out with this strange person. That wasn't even much of a joke, but it was like a nice audience moment. It was fun when my mom would come and I found some guy and I sat on his lap and I was like, look, Mom, I found a man. And that was nice for my mom.
Those were great.
We had a lot of, obviously it was a proximity to the audience, very close, and we had those mosh pit like things in the pillows.
Right.
Well, any memories of some interesting audience member or some of our wonderful fans from your time there?
This is probably one that George is going to want to tell too, but there was one where I'm just gonna let George tell all the stories.
We're stealing all of George's stories.
Everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's time to bring on our next guest, and this is not that Nick, you weren't special, but I was planning on you being someone else. We are now going to bring in this very special guest that I wasn't sure was going to make it. He has made it. But Wallace, we have to say goodbye to you.
I love you guys.
Bye, buddy.
Love you, bud. So much. Man.
And before we bring on our special guest, don't forget, we're doing this for the Actors Fund, everybody. Actors Fund, Actors Fund, Actors Fund. So throw some money in that tip jar, read that scroll, hit the share button, get some more friends over here, and donate to the Actors Fund. Are you ready for our special guest?
Yes.
Get ready.
Hey guys!
Yay!
So good to see you. You all look so beautiful. I loved all these stories. We should just except George should be here because obviously he has all the stories.
Right.
So Hunter, it's great to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Are you on the coast?
I am. I'm here. Yeah, it's a little bit of a madhouse here, but we're all holding it together. Anna Maria, where are you? Are you on the other coast?
I'm in LA.
You're in LA. You're there. Okay.
So it's just as bad. Yeah.
Are you in
Well,
Portland,
yeah.
Hunter? Or are you back?
I'm actually not. No, I'm here. I'm in Jersey City.
Oh wow. Okay.
Maybe see
Yeah.
some buildings out there.
Nice view, Hunter.
Well, hardly. It's a slight, partial view. That's what they call it.
Well, you all look great. It's been so much fun. I've been lurking backstage and listening to you all and just laughing and remembering such good times. That show was such an amazing production, and you guys were so fantastic. It just it's wistful for me to see you. I'm like, I'd like to wander over to the theater tonight and see them do that. Oh right, I can't for so many reasons. Yeah.
Well, Stephen, will you just talk a little bit about, like Danny talked about how important the cast is and that cast out? I mean, obviously you've seen how many productions of the show. And just why the cast coming together like this one did makes a production successful.
Yeah, well, because the cast makes up the show, basically. I mean, they're sort of loosely guided by Danny and me, I guess, a little bit, and Chris Gattelli. But basically, they're inventing the show not just in the rehearsal room, but as Julia's been saying, they're inventing things night after night. So. You have to get the right combination, and they have to come together as a company. The whole show is about forming a community, and you have to feel that. You have to feel that they are a community and not just individuals sort of like elbowing each other out of the way, for their own moment in the light. So, and this company, I thought, particularly did that so well. I mean, each individual member, as you can see, and I guess we'll see further on tonight, was so extraordinarily talented that any of them could have just been doing a one-man or one-woman show there. But the way they sort of would bring that down to be a company was a beautiful thing to watch every night. And plus, they're really funny. So yeah, it's a great memory to see you guys again, and just remember what a joyous experience that was.
Well, thanks for stopping in and being our special guest tonight.
Yeah, I'll lurk backstage again and listen to George's stories because he has better stories than me.
Oh boy.
But I love you all.
To be clear.
It's so nice to see you guys. It's really,
Yeah, great to see you.
Really appreciate it. Everybody stay safe and healthy.
Stay safe.
Happy Easter, and love you all. Great to see you, Ken, as always.
Bye-bye, Stephen.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Stephen.
So we will bring on our next guest, and I feel like it has to be because I'm getting texts. He's like screaming, "Bring me on, bring me on." I got to tell you stories. We were taking all his bits. Please welcome to the live stream, George Salazar.
Extension of Lindsay Mendez.
Is that Anna Maria?
Hello, hey you guys, it's me, Tony Winter, Lindsay Mendez.
Amazing,
No.
No.
I can't.
Hi Nick. Hi Ken, Hunter, Anna Maria, Julia. Hi, it's Lindsay Mendez.
Hi.
No, it's not. It's not though.
Hi. I have a really cute clip in the back
Oh.
that I got at a garage sale
Oh no!
here in Los Angeles.
Well, now that there's a clip.
I can't.
Is that a chip clip? Is that like a bag clip?
No, it looks like a clip at a garage sale, Julia. I'm not. You don't see me making comments about your appearance. Leave me alone. I'm a funny one.
Julia and George, you were roommates during Godspell.
We moved in together in the last month of Godspell's run, and then we got to be depressed together for the year after it closed.
Yeah, we binged Breaking Bad.
We just watched all the way through Breaking Bad and just ate and sat for months and just we're like, well, we have some money in the bank from the show, and we're not in a total rush to get going, so we just sat together and it was wonderful.
It was very nice.
It was. I miss you, George.
I miss you, Lindsay, too. Yeah, yeah. Lindsay misses you guys also.
She talks in the third person.
And, after Godspell, Nick and I went and did a little show at Second Stage, and it was really nice to do another show with Nick right after Godspell.
So good. It was so good.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Lindsay, you were great in that. I think you got nominated for a drama desk for that.
Yep.
Lindsay, your performance was amazing in that.
Honestly,
Thank you.
The vocal stamina and strength.
There I am with George and Julia.
That's right. Oh yeah, Lindsay in the background.
Lindsay, I love you so.
Those are made for walking.
Do you guys know that Lindsay poked me in the eye on stage?
Yeah. You were a little blind for a little bit.
When did that happen?
And I had to go home and sit in the dark for like 8 hours. She scratched.
Yeah, no, I remember that. You backstage. You were like, "Are you okay? I'm so sorry." And you were like, "I'm fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. I'm fine. It's fine."
Sounds like me. Yeah. During the ending, there were a lot of wide claps. I would say just throughout the show.
A lot of
space. And often you'd get into somebody else's radius and, pow.
Guys, by the way, just kidding. It's George Salazar. It's not actually.
Yes.
I didn't take Lindsay for a neon light kind of girl. So.
Well, you're wrong. Her living room looks like a dive bar, and it smells like one too.
Oh.
George, tell us some of these. Any stories about fans?
Tell a heart attack story.
I knew ahead of time that I was going to probably bring up the time that I went up on my words, and then I heard you guys start to kind of jump into it, and I had to interject because it's my story. It's not your story to tell. It's my story to tell. That day I'm a very sweaty performer, and I guess sweat got into the mic that was rigged to my glasses. And Wallace handed me a handheld mic from Charlie Alterman, our MD, and he was like, "You sorted out your mic. Take this." And he handed me this handheld, and Godspell, it's super physical, and by that point we had all kind of gotten into it. It was so embedded in our muscle memory, and so I was now holding this thing when I was using both of my hands to tell the story, and I just completely blacked out and forgot where I was. And I remember looking at you guys and begging with my eyes for someone to bail me out. And I remember looking at Telly, and Telly was on his knees on the ground in a striped shirt and a red beanie, and he just looked at me and went like this. And we're in the round. There's audience members behind me. There's just nowhere to go. And it was my worst nightmare come true. And I didn't know what to do. And so I started to fake a heart attack. And I held the mic up to my. I think you were gone by this point, Hunter. Thank God.
I have no memory of this.
Yeah, but I put the mic up to my mouth, and I just started going like this. I was bent over and I was holding my chest like this. And I just kept saying, "I can't breathe."
No, this did not happen. Finally turning into a large myth at this point.
No, so what usually during this parable is I'm saying the words and Lindsay would mouth the words with me.
Right.
But Hannah took over at this point, and Hannah, I don't think knew the words that she was supposed to be lip syncing, because I looked over there and was like, help me. Also again went, and so so eventually I figured it out. She was like, instead of just like giving me the line, she was like quizzing me. So she was like, you were feeling, and it was just making a bad thing worse. I got back on board. We finished the first act. I ran over to Beverly Jenkins, our stage manager, and was like, I'm leaving. I can't. This is so, like, I'm so horrified. This is the worst thing that could ever happen. I can't go out there. I'm so embarrassed. And she was just like, get over yourself. So I went in, did the second act, and it was fine. But at the stage door, people were like, hey, are you okay?
How's your heart? How's your heart?
You faked a heart attack.
So we've seen the show 43 times, and you've never done that before. Are you okay?
No one has ever done that before.
Well,
No.
we'll talk funny.
Oh, God.
Times Square.
wow.
Georgia, what in there?
Godspell was a very important thing for me because it allowed me to quit my job at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. I'm allergic to shrimp, by the way. That just
Good thing.
I'm allergic to shrimp, and I still worked there.
Didn't you have shoes with Godspell on it or something?
Yeah, I made Nike high tops for opening night.
Yeah.
I still have them. They're in great condition.
Good.
Take care of my
I love
shit, you guys.
I'm going to try to go into some questions now before we get on to our next guest. I can't, they're just comments are coming in so quickly. George, what was your favorite memory or part of being in Godspell? George and Telly are the best. I mean, this is from Clip.
I would say my favorite memory was probably Julia and Nick and I used to do these extravagant lunches between shows on Sundays.
Oh yeah.
On Saturdays between shows, we would like Wallace, Nick, Julia, like Telly, we would all go to McDonald's and just get like
Hunter would come to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, McDonald's days.
We would do
On
like
Sundays in the lobby.
27
In the lobby, right.
meals. But occasionally on Sundays, we spent money like we were millionaires. And so we would go over to Capitol Grill and we would do surf and turf. When Godspell closed and I had to do my taxes, every time I cried doing my taxes is because I saw how much money we spent at Capitol Grill. But those were the best. That was the best. You know?
Yeah, paycheck would come in, and we were like Capitol Grill, surf and turf, and it was always when it was like a 2-show days. It was before the second show, and then we were like gonna vomit from surf.
I remember it was
Meat sweats for 2.5 hours in the round.
Those poor evening show patrons, not knowing what a terrible show they were getting from full-bellied performances.
Well, Nick's always the one you got to watch out for because of the cash.
I actually just during this conversation got a text from Danny Goldstein that said, "I can smell your farts from here."
And on that note, happy Easter, everyone.
Yeah, really. On that note, let me go bring in the next crew. We're gonna say goodbye to 4 of this group. We're gonna say goodbye to Hunter, Anna Maria, Julia, and Nick. All 4 of you. We're gonna make sure we can keep this.
Good to see you.
Bye, you guys.
Thanks, Dan. Good to see you guys.
Love you all.
You guys.
Don't forget about the Actors Fund, everybody, as we bring on our next group. It's going to go down. Look at this. It's going to go down. And then it's going to expand back up again. Here comes some new folks.
Hey! Rick!
Taps! Oh my God, what a surprise. This is amazing.
Hi, you guys.
Hi, guys.
And I just saw a comment asking George not to tell a certain story. Is that because you have a certain story that you wanted to tell?
Oh, no, I said, George, don't tell your Bubba Gump Splinter story.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not Godspell related, so I would never.
Great. Just warning everybody. I have to say, I remember what I was doing exactly 8 years ago today, because do you guys remember Corbin came to see Hunter on Easter?
Yeah.
Oh, before he took over? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a couple days before he took over. And I just remember I spent Easter watching like the 2 Jesuses hug, which is like a special moment for a Jew girl like me.
He also came to the birthday party, I think, that night and bought all my drinks. Thanks, Corbin.
Aww.
Oh, what a guy. What a guy.
You love Corbin Blue.
So Eric and Corey, both of you being standbys for, tell us one of your favorite, any moment that you got rushed on that you did not expect to go on that put fear and panic in you.
The literal exact opposite. We're in trouble for that.
Can't help you.
I have Nick's costume. I wish I'd known about the costume thing because I literally have Nick's costume.
Telly, let's sing the intermission reprise.
I have a keyboard. Go.
We have people begging for you to sing. Go for it.
Oh, no.
I didn't do that.
Ask Lindsay. You have to do it. Look, see?
There we go.
Amazing.
Someone with that profile pic.
If we were ever,
and
I think the only time I was rushed on was for you, Telly.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was. You know I was sick, but I wanted to, and I was like, you know, it's when you come back early when you're sick from a show and you go, I shouldn't have come back to work today. I like came back to work and I was like, no. It was awful.
It was fresh in my bones, so I was pretty.
I know, it was awesome.
And we had someone just say that you were at your first performance or your Broadway debut, which was it planned? The first one, did you know you were going on, or was it
mine or Corey's?
I think it was yours, Eric, that we saw.
I don't think it was planned at all. It was.
Yeah, mine wasn't either.
So Corey, could you enjoy it, or were you just freaked out about what the hell you were going to do and not poking someone in the eye?
Yeah, I did not enjoy it at all.
No,
I would love to say that I enjoyed it. It was Judas, which was good because that was obviously the easier of the two primary ones that I did, Jesus and Judas. But y'all, that is scary. That is scary because even more so than like a proscenium stage, because you're in the round, so there's no numbers. So like you don't really know. If you're not standing in the exact same spot, it's not going to be the same as like the person who you're covering. So, and then just like it's just a lot of props, a lot of, you know. But once I got that first one done, it was a blast. It was a blast. Yeah.
I just remember everybody being like, "Oh, hey, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this."
Yeah. We were each other's lifetimes for sure. We were each other's lifelines.
Yeah.
The four of us, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, hi, I miss you, Lauren.
Was either George or Telly ever mean to you when you had to go on for one, like, you're in my way? Did they ever give you any attitude?
No.
Come on,
because here's the thing. Eric, Corey, and I were in the same boat. Like the three of us were making our Broadway debuts, and so like in
the same dressing room.
In the same dressing room, like it would be a real dick move to scold them during the show and then have to get undressed next to them.
These two were great.
No, the scolding was for when I think it was my second time on, and I bumped into Celise like 10 times. It was
the second time on is the killer because the first one goes well. I remember the second time I was on for Jesus, and this is like the story I tell when anyone asks about Godspell. Other than that, I have no memory of anything 10 years ago. But if you're Jesus, you do it's song, parable, song, parable, song, parable, and you just have to know the order. No one else has to know the order, but you have to know the order. And I remember one time after a song ended, the audience was applauding, and I literally did not know what was next. And I turned to Lindsay, and this was like, a month or two in, so she knew the order really well. And I said, Lindsay, with that gorgeous wig, I said, what's next? Help me out. And
did she help you?
Yes, she fully did the next parable. It was a short one. So it was like 5 lines or something. But I remember the stage manager was watching. Was his name David?
Yes.
No. David. OB came up to me and was like, great show. And I was like, I'm so sorry about that. And he was like, he literally had no idea that anything went wrong. I was
amazing. 2.5 hours of chaos.
It was pretty seamless. I was just like, Lindsay, help me out as Jesus. And she was like, all right, I got it. Went on with it. It was amazing. She's such a pro.
As long as we're talking about like amazing understudy moments, can we talk about how Julia Mattison went on for all 5 women in the
Yes.
That was crazy.
And did she not go on? No, she didn't go on for a guy. That never happened, right?
No.
Just in our dreams. Yeah.
No, but she did. We do have pictures of her in my costume, and she looked like Garth from Wayne's World.
One of my favorite pictures ever is of George in Lindsay's costume. It's actually one of my favorite all-time pictures.
You know, I thought that if the acting thing doesn't pan out, I could just become a drag queen, and my name would be Lindsay Mendez, and boom.
Mendez, no.
You have to carry
I
around
love
the
it.
keyboard with you all the time.
Yeah, Lindsay Mendez. Welcome to the stage, Lindsay Mendez.
Brian, we had a lot of audience participation bits in this show. Brian Jones asked, anyone remember any funny, not so participatory audience members at any point? We had a couple celebrities too do this.
Yeah.
We did a bit. Other folks did a bit.
Remember that on opening night, Zach Braff was there because he did Godspell with Danny, like Danny was talking about. And Julia sat on his lap and said that she wanted to get into his scrubs. And like the audience just went crazy. I remember that one.
Yeah, I think the funniest one for me is one of my best friends, Kobe Getzig. We pulled him up for charades, and he had been sitting in the pillow section, and he was sitting on his leg in a weird way that when Lindsay pulled him up, both of his legs were fully asleep, and they just gave out, and he fell to the ground, and it was his first time being like, I always joke that his legs were sleeping when he made his Broadway debut.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's amazing.
I remember like people not wanting to do it, and you'd have to go through like 5 people. You're like, come on, oh no, okay, next.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
Jen, you got to see the show more than these folks, just from with that perspective. What was one of your favorite moments in the show?
I saw it like 100 times. I saw both of your Broadway debuts, your Broadway debut. It was amazing. I mean, honestly, the trampoline was so exciting because it was just such a thrilling part of the show. And also you were always worried maybe someone would crack their ankle again. So that was exhilarating.
The risk, absolutely.
You guys, did anybody?
Yes.
I have that.
I did. Yeah. I just did a masterclass in Houston, Texas, a Godspell masterclass because they were doing Godspell and they invited me down there. And I brought that script with me and I like reread it on the plane, and it gave me like just the best like nostalgia moments to just catch up.
It's everything that was cut and all the old lines and all the inside jokes.
Do you guys remember like what were the charades highlights? Because every night charades would be so funny and it would be in the lobby, but I can't remember like what were the craziest charades moments.
I don't remember the mini games at all.
Oh gosh.
I remember Uzo doing a Donald Trump impression. That's
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You're fired.
New, right?
Fired.
New.
I also remember we were right at the height of the Republican primaries. Yeah. So I remembered every day there would be a text thread about what was said on the news that particular day, and could we work it into the show? And it was very like, it was sort of a taste, I guess, of what SNL would feel like if you sort of had to like text everybody and go, is this the bit tonight? What are we doing today? And then you just have to try it and see if it worked. And sometimes it was funny and sometimes it was not. And so you go, okay, try again tomorrow night.
Wait, on another note, I see that Michael Holland just is here, and we have to just give it up to him for being like incredible. The best orchestrator in the world and best those arrangements are still like, when I go back and listen to the original cast recording, it's like what he did with those, just keep them true to the original, but also make them modern for like 2010 times. It was like just so good, and to learn those, it was so fun.
Yeah.
It was so complicated, but like, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we have one more guest. Well, Jen, did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, I was going to say, remember the saging for the Broadway debuts? Because there was no legacy robe, gypsy robe. So you guys did water on each other. Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah.
We so what we ended up doing was, because there was no gypsy robe, tradition. Yeah. We decided to baptize each of our Broadway debuters. And so
Yeah.
so all the people that had been on Broadway before, we had spray bottles and it was like Broadway holy water, and we scented it with something. So like I remember like it also ended up making the floor kind of slippery in our crew,
like water or something.
Yeah, like Robin Owen got a little mad that they had to like clean the stage again. But those are our amazing guys backstage at Circle in the Square. But we did sort of like a baptism for them. That's actually one of my favorite moments ever. Was there were so many Broadway debuts on that show, and I was doing a Broadway.com vlog at the time, a video blog.
Yeah.
And that is my favorite of all of them I've ever done for any show. That's my favorite, is the one capturing everybody's faces when they first walk into the theater for the first time. That is still like my favorite, because you just see people are like, it's just catching that moment for me was like my favorite. That
vlog is amazing. We should post a link later. That video you made of that day is amazing.
It was awesome. And Danny, it was like also Danny's debut too, like because as a director.
Oh,
It was awesome. Yeah.
Oh.
We have one more guest that we need to bring on. So Jen, we're going to say.
Jen, thank you.
Jen, love you.
Hi, Jen. Oh, yay.
We say bye to Jen, and we're going to bring on another member of the creative team. Please welcome Chris Gattelli.
Hi, Chris.
Cred.
So
how are you?
Yes. You look great, man. Oh, wait.
I think we can't hear you for some reason.
You're muted, Cred.
Huh?
Oh, now you're muted.
Are you there? Uh-oh.
She's going to have to talk to us in interpretive dance the entire time.
We can't hear you for some reason.
Oh, no. Somebody do his voiceover.
No.
Do his voiceover.
Yes. Speak, and then Telly, you interpret. What are you saying
while Chris figures out.
I'll ask you a question. Chris, how interesting was it how difficult was it to choreograph Godspell?
Really?
I think you had a nightmare.
Oh, his Bluetooth song, maybe.
Maybe it's his Bluetooth.
Yeah, maybe it's your Bluetooth, Crid. Well, we should explain while he figures it out. We should explain why it's Crid, because were you like looking at the theater or something? Just nod yes or no, Chris. Yeah, it was like visiting the theater, and he had to get a name tag. Oh my gosh, that's it. He had to get a name. The security guard get, "What's your name?" to enter the building to check out the space, and he was like, "Chris," and the security guard wrote "Crid" for some reason, and that's why it's just stuck forever. Crid.
Aw.
Crid.
Hi, Crid.
We miss you.
Well, for the folks whose audio is working, talk a little bit about learning this choreography, or what that experience was like for you. What was it? Was it challenging? Was it just as freeform as the parables?
It was actually.
Well, I think he knew that. Yeah, I think he knew that he wasn't working with experienced dancers, and So I think he was able to like use that and kind of make it more acty, right?
Well, but there was also an aspect to the choreography that felt really special and unique to the company. And for Light of the World, I think it was Day by Day, one of the two.
Light of the World, yeah.
We crafted under Crid, Light of the World, Crid's guidance and choreography. We kind of created a dance combo that we
each made a move, the
choruses, and so it was like personalized and unique, and Chris did such a wonderful job with kind of crafting choreography around, like Corey said, like none of us were Twyla Tharp, well, Telly maybe, but not so much, and so I think it's super impressive that to see all of the other shows that Chris has choreographed and see what he did with Godspell. It's a true testament to his versatility as a choreographer.
And it's the only Broadway show I'll ever dance in.
Totally. And also, what I love about Chris, and this is like, I'm just gonna brag about him. I mean, what George said is so true. It's like every show, it's amazing choreography, because I never feel like anybody's dancing. Like it just comes out of whatever that is, whatever that moment is, and it's always so great when I go see a Chris Gattelli
seamless,
show. Yeah, because it just feels, that movement just feels right. And yes, it's dance, but you go, oh, it's right for that show, and it's great. Yeah, we love you, Chris.
Chris, take a look at your private chat. There's a private chat button for you to look through the steps while I ask these guys a couple more questions from the crew. Telly, did I ask you what your favorite moment was in the show that was like not your own, like watching the other folks? Like,
Me? There are so many, but the one that comes to mind is watching Uzo sing by my side. It's like is out of this planet. I mean, it's pretty awesome. When the lights, I mean, like the light change, that whole moment I thought was really powerful.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Right?
It felt like we would all every night just stand there stunned.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening. Yeah, totally. She made it a 3-act play. It was incredible to watch.
Whatever happened to her?
I don't know. Where did she go?
It's a shame none of you guys go on to.
She's doing regional work now.
That's right.
I remember ugly sobs during rehearsals. Like we would come out of rehearsal at like lunch and be like ugly crying. Like
yeah.
It's not. I don't think I've ever cried more than rehearsals for Godspell.
So we have what's amazing is we have some original cast members watching tonight, like original cast go by. So big shout out to all you guys that started this.
Aww.
And then we have some people that are gonna do it in their high schools. Do you have any tips for anybody that is gonna do Godspell as we wind this sucker down and give everyone a last chance to donate to the Actors Fund? Any tips for anyone about to perform Godspell?
I have one tip. I think it's one of the only shows ever created in which you can come in with your unique like individualism and project that on a stage. You know, usually you get cast in a show and you have to act like the character. But with Godspell, it was amazing because you could get on the stage and just literally be yourself. That's the way it was made. And I think it's just a really exciting opportunity to be able to do that.
Anyone else?
Yeah, to me, the show is about the community that's on stage and that community extending into that audience, which is why I think the Circle in the Square was so perfect, because I felt like at the end of that show, that whole audience, all 700 plus people, felt like they were part of our company. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like in some, like, so I would say when it's one of those rare shows where you are a tight company of people on stage, but that energy then extends into the house and you invite them in to be in your community too. And that's the feeling that people leave with. I think that's the feeling people left with in the 70s with the original incarnation of the show. And that's sort of the feeling that people left with. And that's why the show endures and people still do it, because you feel like you're part of something. You're part of, something global, something global. We're going through something global right now, but so you're part of something that connects all of us together,
Yeah. I always tell people to picture the light that they harness inside of themselves, and to try to picture just like if someone poked you a million times and the light leaked out, to just imagine like that light kind of finding its way out of you and into the audience and your cast members around you, and to know what that feels like, and to allow that to kind of let this whole show kind of bloom.
I love that visual. Very nice.
Yeah, that's incredible. I remember your audition, and that's exactly how your audition felt. You had like red sneakers on or something crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are fantastic. Thanks so much for making this production unique and making this live stream unique and bringing some joy to people all over the world in this very challenging time right now, and for being here. I love you all. I miss you.
I love you.
Too. Donate to the Actors Fund.
Yes, immediately.
The Actors Fund. And everybody be healthy. Be healthy. Stay well.
Wash your hands.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And slowly they'll disappear, and Eric's the last one, and that's it. Thus brings an end to the virtual reunion of the 2011 cast of Godspell. My face hurts, I'm so glad. I hope they put a smile on your face like they did on mine, because that's what we need right now. That's why we did it. We also did it for the Actors Fund. It's not too late to donate some more. We got a couple grand in, I think, tonight, which is amazing. Keep going right now. Donate. They're going to need a lot of help. And it's those actors, people there's a lot of them that really need help. And we all know those actors, people like that, that's who make these shows wonderful for all of you. So for the actors that need a little extra assistance right now, for the stagehands who need a little extra assistance, for the writers, for the gaffers, for all the people that need a little extra, donate to the Actors Fund. They could use it right now. And they're the reasons why we go see shows. It's not because of the producer. It's not because of anyone else, because of those people right there. And they're so amazing. And I'm so thankful for every single one. And that I got to work with them and still can call them my friends. Couple other things. Don't forget, we're here every single night for the Actors Fund. And tomorrow we have, look at this, Jason Alexander, Broadway star before he was a Seinfeld television star. Broadway star Jason Alexander is here, television star as well, director now. He's directing. He'll be here tomorrow night, so join us for that. Yes, Erica, that show won't be online. Sorry, Erica wants us to put up the show. It's just stuck in an archive somewhere. They won't let us do it. But thank you all. The comments have been amazing. Join us tomorrow for Jason Alexander. And lastly, we always do this. For those of you who haven't joined these live streams, at the end of every single one, we do something called Something to Make You Smile. We do a little segment where we give you a video clip or something to put a smile on your face. I know everything we're going through right now is a challenging time. But we have to remember, like George said, like all these people have to spread the joy. You are the light of the world, right? We're our own lights in the world. And this is to put a little light in your life. What we're going to do is a Godspell themed one tonight. We did a marketing promotion. Jen Tepper talked about it on her live stream with me a couple weeks ago, that her favorite promotion that we did was the Godspell cast of 2032, where we looked 20 years ahead. We cast a whole bunch of little ones at the time, these little ones, to do the opening number from the show in our curtain call. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Can you believe it? We videotaped that. What is it, 1987? That link you can find. Erica is... Mary is going to put it up right there. Go to theproducersperspective.com/smile. It's also in the comments. Go there, watch this Godspell cast of 2032. You'll recognize some people, including the young man playing Jesus. You'll recognize him. He has gone on to be quite a star. There's another one that's in another musical, right? There's a whole bunch of them that went on to become something. Always happens with Godspell, including our cast and including this cast. Go watch the Godspell cast of 2032. Donate to the Actors Fund. Thank you so much for being here. And for those of you who were asking for it in the comments, we've got another video to take you home with. Here is that 2011 cast of Godspell. Thanks for being here, everybody. Be safe. God save the people. Oh, God save the people. God save the people. Oh, God save the people. God save the people. Oh, God save the people. When will God save the people? Oh, God of mercy, when? The people, Lord, the people. Not thrones and crowns.